Okay, this is Orlando Wilson. What I want to talk about in this video quickly is a problem I've encountered. I'm sure it's a problem a lot of you have encountered, if not encounter on a regular basis. And that's people's egos. People, when they get a little bit of power, a little bit of cash, it can go to their heads, and that can end up causing problems for everybody. It's something I've dealt with employees, with people I've known over the years. In the basic level, years ago when I was in the military, British military, as soon as somebody got a promotion, they went from being a good guy to being a little Hitler, right? Sometimes they had to. Again, it went with the job. But again, a lot of times people's attitudes can be unnecessary. I've had it with employees that as soon as they got a promotion, as soon as the client started to like them, or they got compliments, it went to their head. I've had it with people, instructors, people that were working with me. As soon as they start to get a little bit of attention, a little bit of responsibility, they become a boss. They think they're the boss. They try to steal contracts. They end up screwing up contracts, etc., etc. So this is where I'm very wary of people these days. And again, people do change. But from a management point of view, you have to keep an eye on everybody that's working with you and for you to see these changes. I work with a very small group of people these days, and if I see such changes, or if I see somebody can cause me problems, I distance myself from them very, very quickly. I'll tell you a funny story. It wasn't funny at the time. Well, it was funny for me. Years ago, when I first got out of the military, I was working in London. I was working for a small security company that had a lot of contracts in northwest London. Kilburn, Harlesden, Willesden, etc. And again, it was far from glamorous work. Some of the work, squatters were kicked out of buildings, they were squatting in, and we moved in to make sure they didn't come back, etc. So it was colourful, but it was far from glamorous. I remember the guy that was running the company, character in himself, he had one guy working for him who gave him a job title of being an area manager, even though he didn't do anything. He just walked around an area, patrolled an area, and went to different sites to keep an eye on people. This guy took the job very, very seriously, too seriously. And I remember one day we had a big job on, a large squat in Willesden Green. Squatters were kicked out, we moved in, etc. Rutland Park Mansions. At one point, the largest squat in Europe. Anyway, the boss of the company was slammed trying to find people because he had numerous contracts with various councils. And his area manager decided, after talking to one of the council officials, to agree to take on 3 or 4 other sites. There were crap sites. I think there was other squats. The area manager decided to do this without even talking to the company manager, or the company owner. The problem was, even though he just brought in 3 more sites, brought in business, the company owner at the time never had the people to fill the sites, and the sites were starting in like 24 hours. They just, they needed people, they needed bodies as soon as possible. And the boss of the company didn't have them. His issue was, now his area manager had agreed to take on these sites, and the council that he was working for, the council that had given the contracts, that he had other contracts with, was depending on him to come up with how many bodies at very, very short notice, which he didn't have. So this is where the area manager thought he was doing the right thing, took his job very, very seriously, but ended up causing the company owner a lot of problems, because the company owner then had to go to the council and say, look, I know my area manager said, yes, we can do the job, but you know what, I don't have the bodies at the moment. Is there any way of us not starting tomorrow, but maybe next week? But a little bit of power, a little job title, etc., can go to people's heads. So this is where you have to be very, very wary of people. People change. And again, remember, as soon as a lot of people get a little bit of cash, get a fancy job title, start getting a little bit of attention, it can go to their heads, and they change very, very quickly. So this is where always be wary of such people. In the meantime, I have an array of books on Amazon to do with various aspects of the security business. We've got a large array of videos and podcasts up now that talk about various aspects of the security business, life, etc., etc. We also provide a full range of close protection, security services, private investigation services, and also consultancy services. And we're also sorting out virtual consultancies now. If you've got any questions, if you need any advice, we can give you real-time advice via whatever messaging apps you use. So if you've got any questions, if you need any services, feel free to reach out to us. I'm happy to answer your questions as long as they're relevant questions. In the meantime, be good, stay safe, and stay out of trouble.